They were at dinner, the whole family, him and Amy and the kids, and the older son got up from the table. Doug was chasing after Caleb's son. And somehow they got into a little bit of situation where a woman, she was like, what are you doing? You're hurting him.
So bottom line is Dr. Phil's security guards at the hotel surround him and kick him out. To calm down, he went over to Hooters. Because that's where you go.
That's the therapeutic man.
Yeah.
Well, that's
validation.
He calmed down a bit, then he went to his new hotel.
Do we have a theory as to whether or not he's still juicing or not? Because that sounds like roid rage. He's got an emotional age of about 12 or 14. I'm sorry it happened to the son, but we will make excellent use out of his poor judgment, poor impulse control. This is a timely example.
Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
She divorced her husband of 10 years because he was controlling, abusive, and a womanizer.
She's moving on.
Doug has blamed his affair on his steroid use.
You cheated with an 18-year-old cheerleader, right?
Correct. But not moving out.
Why did you get a divorce if you were going to turn around and move right back in?
I could not do it on my own. He could not do it on his own.
You need to move out if you have to live in a box. Today's going to be a changing day in your life. You've never had anybody working harder to bring you to the threshold of change than right now. Well, I want you to imagine this. Imagine living in the same house with your ex, even though you cannot stand being in the same room with your ex. That's the reality for Amy, who claims she divorced her husband of 10 years, Doug, because he was controlling, abusive, and a womanizer. But a month after the divorce, Amy moved into a new home with Doug, supposedly in an effort to co-parent their 2 children. Doug admits he was a terrible husband, but he blames it on his addiction to steroids. He claims he not only kicked the habit, but is also a changed man who wants a second chance with Amy. Take a look.
My ex-husband Doug and I divorced earlier this year after 10 years of marriage. We are now living in a house together, co-parenting our children, and it's horrible. I've been trying to be your friend, and that kind of kicked me in the butt. You take it as something else, which I'm learning. That's what you keep saying,
but that's wrong. I told you I would not expect anything till you physically say the words to me, Doug, I want to get remarried to you.
I do not want a relationship with Doug. I just want to co-parent in peace.
I want to work on getting back together with Amy. I feel we owe it to our relationship and to our children.
3 years ago, I found out Doug was having an affair with the little cheerleader lady half his age. The affair lasted over 5 years. Doug has blamed his affair on his steroid use.
I was taking a decent amount of steroids, testosterone, kind of created this ego. No intimacy with Amy. This girl came on to me at the right time, at the right moment.
Doug is cold and heartless. He keeps telling me I'm an unfit mother and a party mom. Why is there an issue if I do something with my friends? Why am I a whore? Why am I a slut?
You went back to being the person who would just go out at night, be out all night, do whatever you want.
That is far from the truth. Doug is constantly threatening to kick me out of the house. And just to keep peace, I would sleep in the car.
You didn't sleep in your car, so
yes.
If you want to go that route, we can go that route.
Week?
You're lying.
I can leave Doug, take the kids, but Doug won't allow it. I want Doug to stop trying to convince me to be with him.
I'm so confused. I don't know why she's living with me if she doesn't want to be there with me. I desperately want to be with Amy.
Okay. I'm really confused. So you guys need to help me out here. Okay. But why do you think you got a divorce?
Well, I got a divorce because Amy wanted a divorce. I did not.
But why did she want a divorce?
Oh, she wanted a divorce because of the way that she had been treated by myself during a certain period of time and my affair.
What were you doing that was so offensive to her sensibilities that she wanted to end this marriage?
I was abusing steroids and just became an evil, off the wall person. I was raging and I didn't even know it.
So the devil made you do it?
Not the devil. I did it. I take full responsibility.
It's like the roids made you do it.
No, I take full responsibility for it. It just didn't help my control. I was saying things that I would never say to her.
Okay, you don't do steroids anymore?
Not at all.
Okay, so I assume when you stopped then, all the rage and the need to control and venting all of this aggression, it all went away.
I'm not the same way. I mean, we do have our arguments. We still have our disagreements.
Now answer my question. So when you stopped doing the steroids, then all the rage went away?
I don't have rage, but there's still anger inside me. There's still, when I feel like my current character is being attacked by Amy, you know, I come back at her.
Okay, all right. Tell me something true, because I get the feeling that Doug doesn't have a lot of insight.
No.
He doesn't have the ability to step out of himself, turn around and look back and see himself clearly in an objective sort of way.
Yes.
So what's really going on here?
I agree. I mean, it's not as bad as it used to be. We went into this house co-parenting and also financially. I could not do it on my own. He could not do it on his own. He's still controlling. He's still aggressive.
Didn't you get thrown out of the hotel last night?
Yes, I did.
Didn't they call security?
Yes, they did.
Didn't they have to separate you from your son?
Yes, they did.
Last night?
That's correct.
As in 12 hours ago?
100%. I knew this was going to come up, but...
Well, no, hell yes, it's going to come up.
But when my son is storming off...
Of course it
having
came up.
a tantrum, and he's pushing on me as I'm trying to stop him from running up the stairs and running away from us when there's events going on in the hotel. I wasn't physically aggressive with my son. I was trying to get him to stop running away.
Physically?
He was pushing at me, so I'm pushing him backwards. Let's get in the elevator.
You say you knew this was going to come up. Let's think back to the beginning of this conversation. I was giving you 5 minutes of an opportunity to tell me what's really going on here.
Okay. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm telling you what happened.
You still have aggression. You still have anger.
No, you're not. You cheated with an 18-year-old cheerleader, right?
Correct.
And this is, you were how old?
It was 4 years ago, so I was 38.
Okay. And this is while you were doing steroids?
I was on steroids. I was DJing in clubs and out there and drinking and just, yeah, I mean, the attention came to me when I wasn't getting attention, and unfortunately I acted.
Okay, see...
No, I'm just saying I did it.
No, I
did
heard
it.
what you said.
I'm not saying it in
I
a
heard
negative...
what you said.
I'm not trying to denounce it.
You finish everything, it's like you'll do okay, and then you get to the everything, and you have to explain it away at the end. It's like, okay, yeah, I did it, because I wasn't getting attention, so it's basically her fault.
No. Okay.
Do you own anything?
I've owned everything. I've actually admitted every single wrong I've done. I haven't stopped talking about all
you
the things
admit
I've
it, but
done.
then you explain it away.
And then I even...
It's called undoing.
Okay.
You got a divorce. Why did you get a divorce if you were going to turn around and move right back in?
Because financially, we couldn't do it without each other. There's loans out in my name. I can't even open up a bank account at the moment. He can't do this on his own. I'm working, he's working. It's a high payment. And also, he was going through personal problems with his own life, and I agreed. But also went down the line of okay, Doug, your time is your time, which you also agreed. Your time is your time, mine is mine, parenting time, co-parenting, family time. You understood it was over. Your space was your space, my space was my space.
No, he says you tricked him.
I didn't trick you. How? I told you numerous times, Doug, this will never work. Your room is your room, my room is my room.
We'll agree to go to a marriage retreat.
I know,
and the price is we'll sign the divorce papers.
That's the only way he would do it. I felt like I was forced to go. We're doing this for my family. I know our marriage is over. It wasn't just a marriage, it was a marriage family type of retreat. I kicked, I screamed, and he was on me. You were on me. You were doing this. We're doing this. This will help our family. This will help our family. Going there, I was honest.
And you thought when she went to the marriage retreat, things were getting better and would get better.
Oh, I actually had hopes that things would get a little bit better because we never actually sat in therapy together without me being, a lunatic. So, and, being a little bit more clear-minded as to focusing on our family. And, I didn't want to sign these divorce papers. I was kicking and screaming at the attorney's office.
But you signed them in exchange for her going to the marriage retreat.
As crazy as it
Because you
sounds.
thought that would undo.
He thought God could put us together.
I thought there'd be a way that we could work on it. We had a chance to work on this, and we'd have time.
Okay, so how do they live in this house divided? not very well, but we'll talk about that next.
Seeing you dating, knowing you're dating, and living with you when you're dating will kill me.
We agreed to have our own space and have our own boundaries.
This couch is where I sleep.
This was supposed to be my big, beautiful walk-in closet. Now that he's thinking I'm going out dating and punishing me, he's starting to gradually move his stuff in the closet. I would love to date. I can't, because I have you in the background.
And later...
How am I controlling it? That's what I want to know. I'm asking you the real question.
That's not a question. You think I'm an idiot?
No, I'm asking you seriously because
No, seriously.
I'm being
You
told
think I'm an idiot?
Tomorrow.
He kicked her in her head. You could almost see a footprint.
The attacker was her own father. Jenny says she will always have a relationship with her son, despite his being sentenced to 12 years in prison.
I will never turn my back on him.
You made a list of excuses of why he should not be accountable. This man stomped her head, gave her 2 brain bleeds.
That's tomorrow. Then, on Wednesday, from nurse's aide to living in her car.
I didn't put myself in this position.
She thinks there's a conspiracy.
Everybody was starting to act weird. The lady at the rent-a-car.
What's the common denominator?
I'm not good at fractions.
That's Wednesday.
Doug is like the male version of Fatal Attraction. He's controlling and very obsessive. He doesn't want anybody in my life but him.
Amy's being very secretive about her whereabouts. Before we got divorced, I put a tracker in her car to see what was going on. I found out that she was staying at this guy's house. He was out drinking at the bars and went back to his place.
Whoever the he is, I'm gonna find him. I'm gonna him up in front of you. I'm gonna make you cry as I beat his ass.
Doug went to his job and harassed him.
Now, we're divorced, and she has every right to date, but, you know, living in a household where I'm supporting you and watching our kids while you're dating, it's disrespectful because I want to be with you.
Okay, Amy says her ex-husband, Doug, has been pressuring her to reconcile, even though she says she wants nothing to do with him, except as a co-parent to their children. Now, Doug says Amy was more than happy to move into a new home together after their divorce, and as a result, she needs to give him a second chance.
What do we go into this house?
We came into this house co-parenting, that is correct. Getting along as friends.
You separate space, my separate space, working on a friendship, even if you're dating. Your business is your business, my business is my business.
Seeing you dating, knowing you're dating, and living with you when you're dating will kill me.
I would love to date. I can't, because I have you in the background.
Before Doug and I moved in, we agreed to have our own space and have our own boundaries. This was supposed to be my space. When Doug gets upset, he takes over the bed. And I, in turn, end up sleeping downstairs or in the car.
This couch is where I sleep. We looked at the house. I had basically stated that I could probably just sleep in the sunroom. But when we got here and we started unpacking, it was like a mental block. I couldn't get myself to go in the sunroom and lay down.
This was supposed to be my big, beautiful walk-in closet, and Doug's stuff would stay out. Now that he's thinking I'm going out dating and punishing me, he's starting to gradually move his stuff in the closet.
Lately, we've been avoiding each other as much as possible. Right now, we're in the basement in the house. It's a good place for me to come down and just get some exercise in. Amy doesn't spend any time down here at all. The time I feel like she's ever down here is if she's doing laundry.
When things are good with Doug and I, we could call each other. If not, it's just basically texting.
I'm not happy with the situation. I thought it would be good for the kids, good for us. I can't live with someone that I want to be with, and she's just doing whatever. Doesn't work for me.
You said I didn't say that. You didn't. You're objecting to me characterizing this as you controlling her with the home.
Yeah, it was both of our. When I came to her and told her I'm moving out of our marital home, I'm gonna move into the next town where our kids will have a better school district, as well as my son's been asking for that, and I just couldn't stay in that house anymore. She got really upset. She was crying. What about me? You don't care about me and the kids.
You did not want me
Can I finish?
having my own space. I said we could get 2 separate places, don't pay a big payment on this house. No, I want us under the same roof. We
That
could
was after the
co-parent.
fact.
We could do
That was after the fact that
I
you
would
said
even
you
stayed at the
you
old
wanted
house
to.
also.
You
No,
didn't. You
it
could
was
have.
one
I
of
told
us
you to
staying
stay
whatever.
there. So why didn't you stay
But
there?
you
I
couldn't do
told you
this
to stay
house
there.
without me and these payments.
But I said you could stay there, and you chose not to. So you
No,
had agreed.
you did
You
not.
wanted to.
You're telling me people are buying the
Come
house.
on. It's like you're lying.
He's doing this
I'm
because he
following
sold
it.
his business and he's backed up with money now. So he's
But I'm
basically
not.
like, bye-bye.
But I'm not.
You are. You really are.
I haven't even been backed up by the money yet. So you're just assuming because you're not speaking with me. If we talked, we would actually know exactly where everything is.
Doug, when we
spilled
talk,
it
I
all
don't
to
believe
you.
or trust you.
Exactly. So that's the problem. We can't communicate because you have no trust in me. And that hurts because I'm sitting here being the most open and honest person to her.
You're trying to kick me out of a house.
Because you're sleeping out and
Do you
doing
get
what
out?
you want
Sorry.
and cursing at me and
Not you. I
calling
didn't
me
mean that.
things and saying nasty things to me. Who wants to live with that person?
I'm not
me.
saying nasty things.
You
Doug,
are.
I go
We
out
had
with a
two
friend,
major fights.
and you majorly,
Amy,
okay,
we had
get
two
out,
major fights
sleep
prior
out,
to you
don't
going
come
out.
back. I come back, the doors are locked.
You slept out again.
Yes, at a friend's house. You're telling me to get out.
You're divorced.
Right, but this is after her attacking me with all her words, saying what she's saying about me, saying all these nasty things to me.
What am I attacking?
Amy, please, you know what you did, and you're sitting on the stage and trying to make
Well,
me look
tell
like
me,
horrible
then
still.
tell me. You tell the truth. She won't tell the
yelling
truth.
at
You tell me the
she's
truth.
going like this, la, 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 like not listening to me. You know, I'm talking to her about stuff.
Never.
You know, normal, Amy, you went,
don't talk like that.
went in the shower and did that. Like, come on,
Because
I'm
you're
talking,
standing
still talking
outside
to
the
you.
door.
Still trying to have this conversation.
No,
I got to chase
I'm
her around the
repeating
house to have a
myself 100
conversation.
times. You're chasing me
And
around the house,
I'm
exactly.
talking about the money. I'm talking about the car payments. I'm talking about the insurance. I'm talking about all these things. And she's like blowing me off. I'll do this, I'll do that, blah, blah, blah. To get me a place, you know, acting up. And okay, fine. Yeah, I'm going to get mad when you follow that up with now I'm going to go out for the first time since we've moved in this house. And I'm going to stay out all night and sleep out all night and just be disrespectful. No one knows where you're at. Our kids had to be at someone's house where they didn't want to sleep over because Amy was out, so God knows
That's
what
not
time
true.
she wanted to be out to.
I was at a show. You told me last minute.
2 in the morning?
Yes.
The kids got to stay there?
I'm
They
in
don't
the
want to
city.
stay there.
It was a sleepover, and
the
I was
kids
going to
didn't wanna
sleep
stay
over.
there.
Doug, at last minute, you said, I'm not around for the kids, and you tried to ruin my night. At that
last
point,
minute,
I
I
have a
was
backup
working.
plan.
Oh, that was
They have
part of
friends
our
that they love in
argument.
a door. And sleepover, and I'll come there right after. And he turns it into something else, and then drags the kids into this.
Keep them. Seriously, 8%. You know, and you want to know how long they last? January 12th. That means you only have a few days left. Now, I'm doing 2 podcasts. Part 1, I dropped on New Year's Day. Part 2 drops today, and I'm going to tell you how to be one of those 8%ers. You know what else I'm going to tell you today? I'm going to tell you how to increase your efficiency in 2020 by 500%. 500%. You can download and listen to my New Year's resolution episode on my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. It's available now for free. And I talk about why resolutions fail and how you can be an 8%er. Get 2020 off to a great start and make this your year. There's a brand new episode every Tuesday available on Apple Podcast or Stitcher. All right, let's get back to this couple. Are you sending each other mixed messages?
Not at all. I'm not. I'm cut and dry. I meant by what? Relationship or anything?
Were you not last year sending each other mixed messages?
We don't agree. We don't. No, since I found done, we went to therapy. We talked about us being done. Yes, it was done. There was no in between.
So it was either lovey-dovey or
Nah.
it's over.
Yeah, and he knows that it's over. How can, when I found out all this, how can I, and we went to therapy talking about this each and every way.
Swear I won't forget this, why do I regret this? In my mind reckless, thoughts are feeling endless. Sitting up, I'm breathless, anxiety's infectious. I feel so defenseless, betrayed and embarrassed. I hate being open, I hate being broken. I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. The pain makes it real. I don't wanna feel, I just wanna kill the bad thoughts and steal a good thought and feel. I'm just lost to feel, I'm just lost to feel. I need time to heal, I can't steer the wheel. Cause this drive it kills, and it gives me chills. A nice road it feels, I slip off the peel and crash all the steel. Will I ever heal? I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go. I can't move on till I let go. I feel so lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hold. Cause I can't move on till I let go.
You found out about this affair. You didn't like that. You made that clear to him.
Yes.
How many times have you been involved with this cheerleader?
Twice.
And
it was one time 4 years ago, and then recent.
And you told us 3 times, but you're saying 2 times.
No, it was one time 4 years ago and one time in 2018.
Okay,
I'm
just telling you what you told us.
About.
She says you've taken out a bunch of loans in her name.
Correct.
Why did you do that?
So at the time, I was partnered into a company. The accounting department was telling me some of the stuff that was happening, showed me what was going on when I went to request for a check for my week's check. And there wasn't enough money in the bank account for me to get paid. And I had foolishly left money in the account. I wasn't taking my partner draws. Letting it save there, figured it was safe. Found out it wasn't safe.
I get all that. You did this without telling her.
Correct, and it's horrible.
So you're just giving me excuses. I'm just asking you why you took out loans in her name.
Because at that time, my back was against the wall, and I was afraid to go to Amy and talk to her about it. And I foolishly...
loans. He was projecting his business, made great money, and at the end of the day, he's living a lavish life.
But this is when I first left the one company to start the other company. That's when his loans came out.
Okay, and then you say he's paid them all back but one?
No, I still have about $30,000 left. He's paid the ones that would get him in trouble, and his family in trouble.
And then he's left it, you say it's to control you.
Yes, I believe it's to control me. You're not paying it, you're taking care of yourself.
But at the same time, I'm paying...
what?
It's $30,000.
That still sits on a report. That's not an actual number.
He wants me to call and take care of this. I'm not owning it. The same way you got my loan, you pay for it. And now it's not being paid. What?
Which is what I'm doing. It's been proven. I even paid your credit card that you used. I've been paying
You took a credit card out of my name. You took everything out. Anything in my credit report, he has taken out.
The credit card was in your pocket.
Why should she trust you and reconcile with you if you're calling her names kicking her out of the house, trying to control her, ruining her credit, and controlling her financially.
But I'm not ruining her credit. I'm working on fixing everything. I'm paying everything that I can, but at the same time, we're in a house together, and I'm paying for everything.
There is no but. You stole her identity.
Correct.
You took out all these loans in her name.
Right.
And you say that it doesn't sound real bad if you say it real fast.
No, I've said it's horrible. I've literally talked to her about this. I've been more than vocal about the fact how horrible that makes me, how of an evil person that made me, how I should have come to her and spoke to her. I should have been a man, but I wasn't a man. It was small of me to do these things, but I did it. And now all I'm doing is try to fix and undo the things I've done.
So you're truly remorseful about this?
More than remorseful. I've literally cried to her, on the floor crying to her.
Well, we'll see how you express that when we come back. Amy says that Doug is using their children as pawns and puts them in the middle of their business. We'll be right back.
Doug and I have had Child Protective Services come to our house. 2 years ago, Doug slammed the bedroom door during an argument. Doug initially got arrested for property damage. We had to file a protection order for my son and I, and then at that point, CPS was involved.
I was charged for endangering the welfare of a minor, and they actually claimed that the door came off its hinges and hit my son. He actually backed that story up, that did not happen, and unfortunately, the charges were never dropped against me. You know, I went to court, I had to go to anger management classes, and I had to eat this, something I didn't do. Amy thinks that I manipulate our children against her.
Doug uses the children as pawns. He spoils the kids so they're on his side. He tries to pit the kids against me, and he would tell the kids I'm the bad guy. My son calls me a liar all the time. Right now, I feel like he's following in Doug's footsteps.
Amy blames me and says that I'm hurting our son. He feels that she's the cause of why our family's falling apart. You know, it's our fault that we're divorced. She wanted it, and I didn't.
Okay, Amy says her ex-husband, Doug, is using their children to pressure her into reconciling. She says her 12-year-old son is now starting to act like Doug and calling her a liar. Is that true?
No.
Okay, so where is she getting this?
She just comes up with it, says anything that he's doing is because of me. The kid saw a lot of things that no kid should see. He heard a lot of arguments that he shouldn't have heard.
Okay, you didn't slam a door and it fall off the...
It did not fall off and hit him, and he spoke up to that. He went to the attorney's office and spoke up to that it never happened.
What happened?
It fell off the hinge. Did it slide? Did he say it slid him? Yes. When I was going through everything, the police report didn't say that. But
Look,
the CPS wasn't involved just because of that, Doug. It was involved because what we were living.
Yeah, when you're fighting in front of the kids like this, that's bad. And let me be very clear. I don't think you'd do anything in the world to hurt your son on purpose.
Never.
I don't believe that at all. I think you would take a bullet before you would do that.
100%.
I also don't think you're objective about what you do. And I think your impulse control gets away from you, and you run your emotional agenda at times without recognizing what's going on. And I'm going to tell you, the effects of fighting in front of the kids, it changes them. They start being clingy. They get insecure. They have low self-esteem. They have a lack of belonging. They feel lost. They experience a lot of guilt and shame. They have no impulse control. They have feelings of helplessness. They exhibit aggressive behavior themselves. They start yelling at their own kids when they grow up because they model what they've been through. They have feelings of fearful, and they're unsure of their future because they can't predict what's going to happen because it's so volatile. And they're embarrassed to bring friends over because they never know when the powder keg is going to blow. So there's no peace in their lives. And you know, you say you want to fix this, then you go out and you go off. You just don't accept the fact that you're divorced, and if there's ever going to be a relationship, you're going to have to rebuild it, not demand it, not control it. And I don't know if it's anxiety or anger or rage, but the things that you say and do towards her in the current time frames, how do you think that's ever going to get you back to some kind of peaceful coexistence?
Oh, I don't think it will. But
Then why are you doing
at
it?
the same time, I don't know. I guess I'm reacting, and you said the anxiety part of that. I'm reacting to what she's throwing at me. So we don't have on tape right now or documentation of what she says.
Okay,
she won't
is this a race? It's
No.
like, okay, we don't have on tape what she does. I'm asking you about what you're doing.
She didn't go to work. She went
Doug,
to her
I never
friend's house.
cheated on you. I never
She went
hurt
to her
you. You know
friend's
that.
house and got caught.
While you're stalking me.
Because they knew you were going to come out here and never own anything you do, ever.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, a baby beaten by her father.
I will never turn my back on him.
This man stomped her head, gave her 2 brain bleeds.
That's tomorrow.
Well, she sent us a copy of a voicemail message that she says you left her on her cell last December. And here's an excerpt where Doug apparently accuses Amy of cheating. Let's listen.
Last year, Doug left me these horrible voicemails.
I caught you cheating, Amy. I caught you. Think I'm a f***ing moron? You want to f*** me like this? You piece of You are not coming to this house ever again. And I'm gonna let your kids know the whore you are. I ain't paying for your car. I ain't paying for your insurance. I ain't paying for Jack's no more. You wanna treat me like some scumbag? That's cool. I'm gonna treat you like a scumbag now. You're a hooker. I have people looking for you. That's what you forget. I know how to find you. You're a whore.
In the middle of it, you say, I'm going to tell the kids.
Yeah, I was losing my mind.
He's
Acting
always
like a
brought
fool.
the kids into it.
Acting like a
Said the
complete
kids
fool.
call me if I wasn't home at midnight.
And then
wake them
your
up.
son says she's a liar. Where does that come from?
Night that Amy claimed that she was working, but she was out. She was at a friend's house, and my son was on the phone with his friend, and there goes Amy past the phone. We weren't divorced.
How do you know I was seeing the guy, Doug? How do you know I was seeing the
Because we
guy?
already talked about how I knew about
When
it.
we were separated?
No, we weren't
When
separated.
we were done?
It was end of
It took
November.
me about
and we
9
weren't
months to actually
separated, Amy.
go out to
Is
do
this
anything.
after you put a tracker on her car?
Yes,
Actually,
that's what he did.
the reason
Put a
the tracker was put in the car is because Amy was going out. We were still laying in the bed together. There was no divorce. There was no signed paper. There was no attorneys. And she's out all night long, pulls into the driveway at 3 in the morning, and I hear on the Bluetooth a guy talking to her in the driveway of our house. And she comes into the bed and lays down in the bed with me. And I asked her, I said, who's the guy that was on the phone? And she lied about that. And then it comes to fruition that this was true. So now she's making up a story. She was out. She claimed that she was going to work. She didn't go to work. She went
Doug,
to her
I never
friend's house.
cheated on you. I never
She went
hurt
to
you.
her
You know
friend's
that.
house and got
You
caught.
make up these
and then
stories in your
blames
head.
me about it.
While you're stalking me and asking people at
I'm
restaurants to look for
stalking
me.
you
He
because you're
sends my
lying. You
pictures
were
out.
lying. You were straight lying. You were laying in bed with me still.
Doug, I don't
What are you
like. No,
talking
we haven't
about?
had sex in 2 years, Doug.
We didn't have sex, correct?
No,
but you
we
were
haven't
laying in
done
bed
anything.
with me.
We haven't kissed. We haven't done anything. I made
Correct,
a point.
but
We were done.
But in
we
October
were going
we
to therapy because
and
I was
4
worried
weeks
for you
later,
as a
you're
person.
out and about just doing what you want
Doug,
and
it was
not
9
admitting
months
that
after
you
the
were
fact.
cheating. It wasn't
Not
9 months, it was a
cheating, 'cause
month.
we were legally
It was
married and I couldn't
4
divorce
weeks.
you?
4 weeks. 4 weeks from sitting at marriage
No,
counseling.
Doug, it
4
wasn't-
weeks. I've sent to the show the text messages so they can have it because they knew you were going to come out here and never own anything you do. Ever. Ever. You lied to your kids. Your son caught you and called you a liar, and he's been calling you a liar
Doug,
since, but you blame
he talks
me.
to you and
But
you
blame
talk to
me.
them like he's your
I
best
know.
friend and you vent.
You're accusing her that she was cheating.
I stated at that point, correct, that
Yeah.
that was cheating.
So maybe it
laying
was
in-
an 18-year-old male cheerleader.
Maybe. Maybe.
I mean, it's pretty ironic.
Could have been.
It's pretty ironic that that's the point that you're.
He's trying to twist
It was
it
just
on
at
me
that
as
point.
I
It was
cheated
just
on
at that
him.
point that
So,
this
And he
happened.
did
tit for
send us.
tat,
He
tit
did
for
send
tat.
us from text messages, September, October. Doug, what brand is a dishwasher? Amy, GE. Doug, guy's going to stop by and look at it. Amy, okay. Doug, I love you. Amy, love you. When you have time, can you order this for Bree for the holiday before prices double and it's impossible to get? Doug, ordered. Amy, thank you. XO. So what you're talking about is that there was a time in the not too distant past that things were civil.
Correct.
Doug says he's hoping to get Amy back. as his wife. He wants to put the family back.
On a few occasions, Amy got physical with me, struck me, scratched me. I was bleeding from my face, kicked me, punched me. A couple of times I had to call the cops just because I needed to protect myself. I never touched Amy. I never put a hand on her.
Doug put me in a chokehold, dragged me behind the door. I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna kill you.
She'll tell you a different story because of one occasion where I had to be physical because she was going after my mother.
Doug has also told me numerous times if I was a male that he would beat the shit out of me.
I asked my good friend and colleague, Donna Tatro, to come here today. She's a parenting expert who says that children should just not be involved in adult issues. So, Donna, thank you for being here, first off. I really appreciate you being here. Just as someone that is vertically developed and focused on the parenting aspect and the impact on children, what do you want to say about what's happening here?
I don't think that you understand the impact, unfortunately, of what you're doing to your children. One way I like to explain this, co-parenting aspect, because it's really hard, even in households where parents are getting along and are living a happy life. You're co-pilots. If you do not communicate effectively and positively, you're gonna go down and you're gonna crash and burn. And that's what's happening. And the turbulence that you guys have brought to your children is life-altering. You have to make a choice that it's them before you. You're divorced.
Yeah.
Now move forward.
Well, is it true that your son has called the police before?
Yes, multiple times.
Okay, so this is a child that feels so out of control with what's going on that he feels like he has to go call in the authorities to intervene and control the violence between his parents. Now, think about that for a minute. Now, you can't be so narcissistic and self-absorbed that you don't have empathy with what's going through a 12-year-old's mind that is watching this and says, oh my God, I've got to go call the cops on my parents.
It's something that, I don't sleep at night over a lot, thinking about all this stuff and what was done to him. You're supposed to treat each other with respect. You're supposed to talk to each other with respect. You don't talk to a woman the way I was talking to a woman. You don't put your hands on each other. You don't do these things. And that was something that I'm very, very, very strong on showing him. And sometimes it bothers Amy because
it's too late.
It's not even about that, but I'm just talking about the after effects and how I'm trying to treat you in our household and show our son.
But in the last 24 hours, the authorities had to get involved between you and him.
Because of what he saw, what he thinks is proper way of acting, storming off.
This was over a shake. Give him 5 minutes, he's done.
That's what I was trying to do, get him to go upstairs and calm down.
Last night, this escalated to the point that the authorities got involved and you had to be removed from the hotel.
Yeah, they asked me to leave. They told me that you can't push. I'm like, I'm literally controlling the kid.
Okay, you keep explaining it away. Are you not getting the point? Do you not hear yourself?
I do hear myself.
What do you hear?
I hear what I'm saying. I'm telling you what happened last night. Are there other ways to go about it? I'm sure there are, but it also comes to the fact of what he's seen and what's happening at that moment. She's dealt with the same thing with him that the cops had to call. They called the cops on her for the same exact thing that she was dealing with with him.
Yeah, get a dig in. You got to get a dig in.
I'm just saying the point of the matter is it's a constant.
Stupid, Doug. It's a shake and that's it.
I understand it.
It's just the aggression that you show when you get heated. You don't know how to take it down 10 notches, and that's it. That's all this is really
I get
about.
it. I understand that. I was following him around trying to get him to stop. I get it. If it was wrong and my actions were wrong, then I'm wrong.
Why do you have no idea how much time when you watch this back? I want you to watch this back with an eye towards how much time the two of you, especially you, have spent justifying what you're doing. And you know what you have not asked the entire time? Find out after the break. Today's show is almost over, but we are hard at work on tomorrow's show and beyond. and we are always looking for great guests. Do you feel like you have a story I won't believe? Log on to drphil.com and click Be on the Show to tell me about it. Or text Phil at 88500. I want to hear from you. Closed captioning provided by...
My doctor recommended FD-Guard for my meal-triggered indigestion. Ask your doctor about non-prescription FD-Guard. Enjoy eating again. FD-Guard, the pre-meal companion, available in the digestive aisle.
I hear what people say, and I hear what people don't say. And what I have not heard from you this entire time is, Dr. Phil, what can I do to be a more effective father, husband, leader, provider, protector, teacher, any category? I haven't heard you ask one question about what can I do to improve this situation. Not one time. And I talked about what happened last night as well. He was just trying to push by me. I was just this, I was just that. Yes, they called, they did this, they did that. That's not the point. The point is there seems to be a pattern, and there's a common denominator to the pattern, and it's you. You have to see that. You're a right fighter. And there's one thing that I see among all right fighters. They're right and usually really lonely.
I thought the reason we were coming here was for that purpose, for me to get that help from you.
But yet you spent all of your time defending, deflecting, pointing fingers, justifying everything that you've done.
Of course I want help for the things that I could control, myself, being a better father, being a better provider, and all the things that you just mentioned. That was part of the reason for
But you want to
being on the
control
show.
everybody else.
But you're saying control, Amy, but you're
You want
at
to
the end of the
control
day,
everything.
you're controlling
You want your
everything.
way.
You're in
That's
control.
it.
You're right.
But it's my fault. It's all
You're
my
right.
fault. I'm asking you.
No, you're right.
Is it all my fault?
Yes, whatever
I'm
you want.
just asking you the question.
Whatever. Whatever you say. Whatever you say, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever you say, you're right.
Great.
Does that make you happy?
No, not at all.
Well, you're right.
It doesn't make me happy. I don't need to be right. I just need to know why I'm constantly being the reason for her not doing what she's doing. That's all.
Well, you're right.
It's nothing to do with me being right. It has to do with the simple fact of why. Why? Why is it constantly me? How am I controlling that? How am I controlling what she does during the day? How am I controlling her wanting to move on and get a job and do things? How am I controlling that? But how am I controlling it? That's what I want to know. I'm asking you the real question. How am I controlling that?
You're right. You're not controlling.
That's funny.
You're right.
I just want to know how I'm doing that, and maybe you can tell me how to change it.
You're controlling me. You want to take over everything.
Listen, 80% of all questions are statements in disguise. That's not a question. You think I'm an idiot?
No, I'm asking you seriously. Because
no, seriously.
I'm being
you
told
think I'm an idiot?
Absolutely
Look at me.
Not.
You think I'm an idiot?
No, I think you're very intelligent.
80% of all questions are statements in disguise. When you say, how am I controlling her? How am I controlling her? I'm not an idiot. That's not a question. I'm not a moron. That's a statement. Don't insult me. You've wasted my time. Now don't insult me on top of it. So here's the deal. You need to move out if you have to live in a box. If you have to live in a box under a bridge, you need to move out.
He puts these kids
No, don't give me any buts. If you really want to be free, you need to move out. You should not be living under the same roof with your ex-husband. You should not be living under the same roof with your ex-wife. You need to figure out what's going on with you and get that straightened out. And I will help you do that if you want that help.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then quit enabling him and get the hell out and live somewhere else. I want to thank my guest today, and a special thanks to parenting expert Donna Tatro. For more information about today's show, log on to drphil.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Here's a fun tweet. Dr. Phil, I always wondered what you would look like with hair, so I decided to take matters into my own hands.
God, no. No. I'm not married to that man.
I'm going to spend the rest of the week trying to unsee that, Christopher. Thanks for keeping in touch. Who knows, I might use your comment someday. We'll see you next time.